What's up, guys? Back here on the K1 Attack. Of course, we got it running last time, but there's a lot more to do. First thing that I'm going to tackle, it's really simple, but these throttle bodies, I got one of these block-off plates for this purge valve, and basically the problem with these Chinese ones that I've found is that this hole and then this hole for the map sensor also, neither one of them are like big enough for some reason. Like they just don't fit, because I had to drill this one out also for the map sensor. But this one, I didn't have the plate yet. I just had it taped off for when I fired it up. So this doesn't fit. So we're just gonna drill this thing out, and then we'll have that part of it checked off the list. Also the TPS, like I was talking about last time, that the TPS was having problems. You can see here what I had to do to get this thing to run, because it was like, this Chinese TPS is no good. I definitely need to order a new one. I don't have one yet, but it's on the list of to-dos. Cool, got that plate on there, looking good. Now moving on, I'm gonna start messing around with the Haltech IC7 dash. I'm gonna start putting that in there and start figuring out, because I'm gonna have to run some inputs for the turn signals and stuff. First things first, I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put this CAN hub. Obviously can't go too far from the ECU, it's gonna be in that vicinity. So I'm gonna find a spot and plug it in, and then we can kind of get things ran here. Let me do a thing. Oh, there it goes. Cool. Look at that. I didn't take the screen protector off yet because I'm worried I'm gonna scratch it because I'm not ready to install it permanently yet. But look at that. That's pretty sweet, guys. So I've been kind of messing around with this. There's a lot you can do with this system. You can change literally any of the gauges on here. You can change them to something else. You can change units. You can, change colors, all sorts of stuff. You can even change like how high you want it to go, where you want the red line, all that kind of stuff. Like this said 120 before, now it reads 180 miles an hour. I reorganized all this stuff and I sent it over here, so now it's showing that on this dash. So that's pretty cool, guys. I mean, you can really change whatever you want. I think this right here will do what I needed to do for the moment, because I like this dash setup. It's pretty good. I mean, obviously I can change and go to any of the other ones if I want to, because I can literally have presets for all the different things in here. We can just go to a different setup and I can reorganize it to whatever I want, so that every single one I click over there correlates with the same thing over here, which is super awesome, guys. All right, I got my CAN hub bolted in with that new bracket. It's all painted up. I ended up actually just doing a bolt with a nut through the end, because I normally would use nut certs, but the nut cert actually made this stick up a little bit further, so I was like, you know what? Let's just bolt it down. It's not a big deal. So we did that. Got that all ran. And off camera, I did a whole bunch of wiring to the fans. I haven't finished it quite yet, but I did run. I've got all of this wiring ran under here. It's gonna be really hard to see because it's kind of dark. But I've got all that wiring ran over to here. I've got this one triangle Deutsch connector, and all the grounds for the fans are in here. I got all the powers ran through here. So now I just need to make another plug so I can run it over to the relay box. I did cut a hole down in here and put a grommet in so I can run all my wiring through, because I thought, not only do I have to run the wiring for the fans, but I also need to run it for like the wiper motor. That's a pretty good location for that. I also need to do the headlights through somewhere, but I haven't 100% figured out where that's going to go through at. Maybe I'll use this one, I don't know. But for the moment, I need to get that other wiring done to these relays. I think I'm going to end up using these three here, and yeah, run them out there. So I'm doing the wiring to the relay box. I just want to show you guys a little bit of a hack. So if you go to the parts store, right, the only really ring terminals you can find there are pretty much this garbage. And these things out of the box are trash. They don't work good. The crimpers they provide you don't crimp that good. They're not great. However, you can modify them to make them good. If you take that red stuff off, that plastic crap, you can make these into just a pretty good terminal by themselves, you just have to heat shrink them. But if you get this, this is the other good stuff. This adhesive lined heat shrink is way better than the regular heat shrink, because the problem with the regular heat shrink is, even though it shrinks down, because it doesn't have adhesive on it, over time I've noticed it can get a little bit loose on there, and it doesn't 100% seal it from like the weather. But this stuff is really good. It like has this adhesive on there, so it grabs it, it can't move, and it's supposed to seal it up so there's no moisture. So you can see here, if I lay this on there, it ends up being a really nice terminal that I can just crimp with some pretty good pliers. I wouldn't say these are the best ratcheting pliers in the world, but they do work pretty well. You can see if I just crimp those, they crimp down pretty easy as long as you don't have that red insulation crap on there, and then you just put your heat shrink over there and you go. Now, I will say I do like to go through and solder these. Basically, I like to solder the end of them just because, to 100% make sure that there's a good connection, it's not going to come loose, all that stuff. You don't have to, as long as you get a good crimp, but it's a good idea. So I soldered it and heat shrinked it off camera, so you can see it's probably not going to focus very well, but you can see that it's a really nice connection. You can see there's a little bit of solder in there. It's all sealed up, way better than using this garbage. Just don't use these by themselves. Do this. All right, got that one all wired up. It's all ran through the firewall. Got it kind of ran up under there. I got it clamped with this same cable as the battery. Everything's ran into there. I've only got fuses for the center one at the moment because, well, one, I don't have enough fuses, but also I need to wire up the control circuit for the other two. I did end up, if you'll notice what I did earlier, I actually had center here. So originally I had it wired up as center, right, left, and my OCD took over, and I was like, I can't do that. We gotta be in order. So now I got left, center, right. So everything's right up there. I did move the trigger over, so now that the main fan control wire is going to the center. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a second fan control from the Haltech, and it's gonna command on both of these at the same time. That way I can have, you know, first stage, second stage, essentially, for my fan control. Also, guys, I'm running out of room in this relay box. It's a good thing I got the eight relay box, because now I've only got two left. I got one negative trigger and one positive trigger. I know where one of them's going for sure. The other one, not entirely sure, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so now I have the left and right fans hooked up. I ran the connection for those to the digital pulsed output 3. If it means anything to you guys on the Haltech. Basically, I reassigned the pin location on there, so now it should output ground to those circuits, which will make this relay work, and hopefully it'll turn on. So I'm gonna try checking them one by one here. I'm gonna change some things on Haltech and see if we can get it to work. Okay, the right side, so the right side turned on, but the left side didn't. I'm wondering if I blew a fuse, because I had like 2 fibers in there, so I'll look and see. Okay, I threw a 30 in it, so let's try it again. Those work, so let's check the center fan now. And that loud noise is with all 3 running. Yeah. All right, so next order of business, I think I am going to tackle this wiper motor. Like, I was kind of up in the air about it, but I think I made a decision. Basically, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wire it up on low speed, and just, that'll be what it has. Because let's be real, the car doesn't even have a roof. So like, the odds of even needing the wipers at all is almost non-existent. So if it even has any sort of wiper, it's good enough. So basically what I'm going to do essentially is this is the plug from the wiper motor. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run, so it's kind of confusing the way it runs, but basically the green has to have power, the black has to have ground, and then the other leg of it also has to have ground in order to complete the circuit for this motor to work. So the yellow and the blue wires are basically the two that control either low or high. So I'm just gonna wire it to the blue one, and then I'm just gonna tape the rest of them in the loom and just not even worry about it. I'm gonna leave them there just in case I need it in the future, but I don't think I will. So I'm gonna end up basically just running this power wire straight to the relay, and then I'm gonna run the ground circuit to negatively trigger this relay through the column, and that'll be that. So let's just do it. Figured I'd show you guys, since I'm looming this thing up, this flex loom. If it'll focus, you can kind of see this, there we go. This flex loom, basically, it's a huge pain in the ass. You just kind of got to force it on a little bit at a time to get it all the way on, because it's not split, it's just one piece. So it takes a while to get it on there, but it's worth it, I think. I'm just running this over that one wire just to clean it up, make it look good. Just wanted to show you guys this harness before I throw it in, how nice it is. Everything's all got the heat shrink, the flex loom the whole way, soldered, crimped. That's how it's done. Okay, now you kind of see here, I got it all wired up. Everything's ran through the firewall, all the way along here into the wiper relay. I've also got the wiper switch input ran through here, got the ground there. I did run out of the flex loom, so I'm gonna have to loom this later on. I had to order some, which isn't a big deal. For right now, it should work. I've got a bracket on here. I didn't have this linkage piece before. I wanted to see if it was gonna clear. Turns out it didn't. It actually was hitting right here, so I actually had to grind this thing down quite a bit. Should be fine for now, but I think now we're just about ready to try it. Let's see. Wait for the fuel pump to kick off so we can hear it. Look at that. Nice. So, in case you were wondering how this is going to work, since it's just running in circles, it's going to be easier to explain when I get to the linkage part, but essentially the rod is going to move around like this in this motion. So it's basically, it's going to be pushing in and out on the bottom of this wiper arm, which is going to cause it to go this way, that way. I did think about something after the fact, and I realized that because it isn't wired up the way it would be from the factory, anytime I stop this switch, the wiper motor is just going to stop right where it is. It's not going to retract to like all the way to one side or whatever. And I don't realistically know if I'm going to be able to do that without doing a whole lot of crazy stuff with it. I'm not too worried about it because, like I said, probably not going to use it very often. But for the moment, it works. So that's a big win. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it on this one. Just a lot more wiring, you know? It's tedious things, but it's a necessary evil. And like I said, I enjoy it because literally I wire it up and things just work. It's so fun to, you know, build these systems with like a purpose in mind, and you have a vision, and you have to think about it like 3 or 4 steps ahead, because you need to know, you know, do I need to loom this? Do I need to loom there? How many terminals do I need for this? You know, what really, all these kinds of things. And it's really, I don't know, I really enjoy going through all the motions of thinking all these things through. It's a good deal. It's definitely really getting a long ways. I'm still, even though the wiper motor is, you know, wired up and stuff, I have no idea how I'm going to do that linkage. The pictures that I've seen aren't very helpful, so I may have to get pretty creative to make this work. I don't see it being a problem. I think at some point I'm going to be able to figure it out, but it's another one of those things that I just have no idea. My relay module, like I said before, it's getting used up. I've only got 1 relay left. I know what it's going to be for. I still need to order parts for that, so we'll get to that part. I do have some more parts coming. Not a lot, but it's one of those things. I ordered so many parts, and now I gotta kind of wait until I have money again. You know how it is, but I have a lot of things I can do. Absolutely. I think one of the next things I'm gonna work on, possibly maybe next time, I'm gonna try to finish up this bumper support. I've got some more tubing that I can, you know, bend up some more stuff. That, and I got more MIG gas, so I can do a lot of welding, which that's good. But as far as other things go, you know, we'll get to it when we get to it. So it's just keep with me on this one, on this journey here, and eventually it'll be done. But who knows? Just like, subscribe, do all the things. Peace out.